All right, I'm back, bitches. It's your favorite bad intro jokes with Mandy Pandas. What's green and smells like pork? Kermit the Frog's fingers. All right, y'all know what time it is. It's your favorite podcast with my favorite old guys.
Da-na-na. Da-na-na. Boo-doo-wee, da-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. All right, welcome to episode 5 of the IRL podcast with Greg and Mike, because this is real life. We're in real life. This is not a simulation, and we are not NPCs. We certainly do not.
Dude, don't make promises you can't fucking keep.
I mean,
you know this isn't a simulation.
I
feel like we've done very little research in the time that we set up for this show to definitively make a statement like that. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Carry on. I'm ruining this already. I've been on for like 10 seconds.
Because
hold on. If it was a simulation, aren't you supposed to say this is not a simulation?
Yeah.
Right?
And one thing in
If
simulations...
I assure the audience that their role in the simulation is secure.
Yeah.
And that...
And one thing I know for sure, like, me and Greg certainly do not glitch in any way.
No.
We don't glitch at all.
That's what happens when you get too many Gregs.
Exactly.
In space.
It's just, it overloads
too
the
many Gregs per square foot.
system.
Marty!
It's not a simulation.
Great Scott!
It's like if Rick and Morty and Back to the
Marty.
Future and Rick and... It's my two Gregs.
Rick and Marty.
I feel like a Mike sandwich.
We've got to get to the clock tower.
Rick and Morty, the names came from Marty and Doc.
I mean,
really?
it totally makes sense.
Maybe it shows you how little I know about that.
But so, because this is not a simulation, this is the IRL podcast with Greg and Mike, and I am your host, Mike Knapp, aka that guy named Mike, and to my right, my hetero life mate, the Silent Bob to my J, the Robin to my motherfucking Batman. It's this other guy.
I'm Greg.
He's Greg. And Greg, this show is not sponsored to you by
Buble Bounce.
Buble, not sponsored by
Michael
Buble. Michael Buble.
This is caffeinated sparkling water. Triple berry as I drip it on my computer.
So you can stay awake to burn off those
My
calories you're not
computer.
taking. And mine, and me and Greg, my other Greg to my left is my other.
Yeah, it's the Bob
Greg
and Peter
friend.
Ratman.
That guy, yes. I'm Ratman. He's Bobbin. We're always
Ratman and Bobbin.
We're writing Ratman music with bobbins.
Yeah, they're in Vancouver on the other Gotham city.
And so
Nobody
today,
talks about.
this show also not brought to you by.
Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah, not the other Vancouver. Not where they like maple syrup and twats nuts.
Sure.
Poutine.
Yeah. So this show is also not brought to you by Narrows Brewing Octo IPA. It's local, and we're not pandering for sponsors. We don't do that.
Not at all.
Shut up.
No,
We don't
that's
do that.
good.
And let's cheers to
Cheers.
for being our first official episode. Even though we tried to do an episode with my son Ian while he was here from Virginia, and I ran out of memory space, and we only got like 13 minutes of a 40-minute podcast.
Yeah,
I feel like you should throw it in at the end of this to like every time someone says something that that can't be repeated.
Yeah.
Just like all of a sudden it'll cut to like you talking to
Right, you're like,
there'll be like 30 seconds of decent conversation, and then like hopefully we have righted the ship by then. Give you something to work with, like some fucking B-roll.
I can't remember. All I know is that we were taking shots and shit, and
Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm the B-roll.
Our language
You're
getting a little
fucked if
sloppy.
This is the B-roll.
So, welcome to episode 5. I should probably turn that on first. The production value.
The production value has remained the same throughout all the episodes.
That went off like 16 times in the fucking foyer.
Right?
The foyer. Can you say that?
The hell you say? That's going to be the go-to phrase for the podcast.
Does this say no or I don't know?
It says Ion. It says Ion.
I on TV, Mom.
So you say Ion?
For the last time, no.
I didn't realize I asked that many times. Jesus Christ, this fucking button's already annoyed. So anyway, episode 5's already off the rails, and we're already fucking like, what, 4? Did you hit start?
No.
Start.
We're going to give you less responsibilities until he just
no
sits here
responsibilities at
and
all.
just laughs and says
Yeah.
anecdotes from his past.
That's right.
Are we supposed to start something? We've wasted all my best material.
So, you guys are in luck. Because he used to do a podcast that's actually still on Spotify. You can go on Spotify and listen to his podcast
I
right
would
now.
recommend it.
And what was it called again?
I can't even remember now.
You can't plug your podcast.
The Dub 7 podcast with Illfunk.
Yes, that's right. The
that's
Dub 7 podcast with Illfunk.
Mike was a guest.
I was a guest like 3 times. Yeah. And so this is right up his alley. And today's subject matter is, Gregor?
It is the Bohemian Grove conspiracy.
But whatever do you mean?
So we just dive right into it?
The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, here we go. So we were talking about doing conspiracies on this show because that's what's really popular right now. So I decided to do one on the Bohemian Grove, which is a 2,700 acre parcel of land in Northern California. It is about 50 miles north of San Francisco. So if you know the area, you take San Francisco, you go 50 miles, you hit Santa Rosa, you make a left towards the coast. It's about 15 miles that way. And it is a gathering of high-level people that started when 1872.
57, I believe.
You've got some background on that, right?
It's 1872.
1872.
So my notepad is somewhere else because I got super prepared like you did.
Okay.
I was distracted with the show was going to be
Some like
sponsored by
industrial revolution shit. Like the guys, big oil money, big steel money.
Yeah.
They formed a club. And
This
they were like, what can we do
Alistair
with our
Crowley
spare
beer.
time that would be fun?
Aleister Crowley beer made by Elysian. This shit's fucking 8.8% alcohol.
Wow.
Like,
Because you're going to go to hell
Yeah.
after you drink 2 of them.
And he was the leader and founder of the Golden Dawn Secret Society, based on a lot of.
Not to be confused with the Golden Dong Society. You must enunciate if you're doing Alexa searches vocally or orally. I shouldn't say orally either when I'm talking to Alexa. It's not my Alexa.
My 2 Gregs are just right. The minds of ill repute.
Not to be confused with golden showers either.
Yep.
The Golden Gate Showers?
The Golden Gate Showers.
That's a conspiracy we can cover on a different episode.
No, that was true.
Podcasting.
So most conspiracy theories are soaked in some truth.
Yeah, that's true.
Soaked in some truth.
Golden soap.
Truth, yes.
Some golden truth.
Anyway.
Dripping from your nose and chin.
So anyway, it's a group of people now that are like the high level people in the United States and actually world leaders. They get together every July for a 2-week get together where they get there. They have a ceremony which is called the cremation of care.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, so where they burn like a little baby looking shroud
In effigy.
Yeah,
Effigy of a
there's
child,
there's a 30-foot high owl that's made out of concrete that's covered in moss, and it gives out a speech, and the voice of the owl is Walter Cronkite, actually. And
Right, and I just want to say, as we start, like, my friends and I do shit like this all the fucking time, right? I mean, that's like totally fucking normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's just get that out of the way. Like,
Everybody goes in the
what
woods
the fuck are we
naked
freaking
and-
out about? These people are just hanging out,
Yeah.
pretending to sacrifice children to a 30-foot moss-covered statue of an owl that is pagan.
Right.
Right. It's not weird.
No.
Not at
People
all.
do this, like, I mean, after you close your shift at Applebee's and the manager's like, what are you guys doing later? Like, this shit happens all the fucking
We're going to
time.
sacrifice an effigy of a child to Moloch. Duh.
Are you coming?
Right.
We're
We're
basically
gonna have a keg.
Everyone does this kind of shit. So
Yeah.
We're
death.
maybe
Death
their
on a
statue
ferry
is
will be
bigger
there. It's
and
gonna
their
be a party,
baby is
dude.
more realistic.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we're basically in the woods right now anyway.
right.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Who knows? So, I mean, you guys haven't taken a good walk around the property recently. So, anyway, let's just get that out of the way. There is nothing to be concerned about here.
The ancient mounds in his yard are actually only a motocross track. That's exactly what those mounds are.
Sure.
And
Only
perhaps
that.
covering
That's what they
up
are.
some homicide or something.
Not
that I
any of those
may or may
things.
not have committed in.
Minecraft.
Yeah,
Commit those in
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Seriously
Minecraft.
though,
Exactly.
go ahead. I derailed that whole thing by trying to normalize that.
So,
which is
dude, not any more than we derail it ourselves.
completely
I was gonna say-
goddamn bizarre.
This whole podcast has always been like one tangent after another.
So episode 4 was like 2 half-hour segments about one 8-item list.
Well, yeah, we had all this material. We ended up like with one. That's all we had time for because we were riffing so hard on basically everything.
Pretty much.
So
Okay, well, I'm gonna back to the description of this perfectly normal event. This is not that different than like any other, like an Easter egg hunt or
Sure.
like normal community events. It's just that we don't get invited. 'cause
It's like
we're
a
not
church
billionaires.
picnic right after
completely
Easter,
innocent.
Yeah.
It's completely innocent. So they come out in these red robes. They're all hooded and everything, and they burn this little baby effigy, whatever.
Right, just like you do on Easter after
Just
you've collected
do
all
like
the
that.
eggs and you want the children to cry.
So the patron saint, the name Bohemian Grove came from. The patron saint is John of Nepomuc. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not.
And it's
Don't speak for me.
he died at the hands of a Bohemian monarch rather than disclose confessional secrets of the queen. Because this thing is like ultra secret.
So he was like the lawyer of the queen.
Pretty much. He was like the confidant or
Right.
whatever. So
Because there's multiple groves. There's groves in Germany. There's other groves where they do this same ritual. Just,
well, there are groves.
How cool!
Yeah,
I have
like you
another
said,
rabbit hole to go
it's
down.
so totally normal.
Right.
It happens
It
everywhere.
happens every fucking where.
In these 3
this
places.
one just happens to be a little more bohemian in theme.
And it's certainly not super ultra secret by super mega wealthy families and politicians and
Right.
Fortune
And-
500 CEOs and whatnot.
Right, and I suppose that's something.
Advisors of people that are those things as well.
Yes.
Certainly
Do
not
you
like
think-
people like David
Do you
Gergen.
think like Zuck and Elon?
David Gergen.
Who's David Gergen?
David Gergen is the fucking dude that Alex Jones. Have you seen the movie?
Oh, that's
He's the
yes,
guy that he goes
yes, I
in-
have.
Yeah, he's the one that's like, oh, what is it? Spinning spiders come out here.
It
Like
says,
he's the one that's like, I disrespect you. Didn't you sign an agreement? And he's like, no, I snuck in. Well, I disrespect you for that. That's David Gergen.
Okay.
Yeah, the politician that
Yeah.
like, got
There
all
is a big sign across the top that says
He's up there with like the Henry Kissingers and the Zbigniew Brzezinskis and all the other dudes that
the
were
Klaus
like,
Schwabs of
yeah, they're like, they manage these politicians and advise them. It's like, okay,
because
so
they
all the
care
people that
so
believe in the
much about
Illuminati.
us.
Exactly. They don't have secret agendas from billionaires.
Well, I mean, if I wasn't some poor vagrant piece of shit,
Exactly.
I could speak up for myself. But because I am, I need Klaus Schwab to speak and lobby on
Yes.
my behalf because I don't have the power to do it.
Exactly. I need Kissinger.
I am voiceless, therefore
Yeah.
I need a rich white man
Exactly.
to champion my fucking cause.
Who doesn't need Nixon and Kissinger giving Reagan fucking
Right. If
speeches?
you ain't black, you ain't for Joe Biden.
You know, but they don't decide policy. They don't decide policy. You get
too soon?
the world's wealthiest people, including people like, I don't know, fucking Epstein. You know, they don't go there and make deals and
No.
a
They just
bunch
go-
of wealthy dudes don't go to a secret place and get really fucking drunk and run around naked in the woods. They don't. Nothing's. That's totally normal, man. They're just talking about.
I mean, to be fair, like I have
You know?
a number of friends from high school that I could think of probably 4 or 5 stories about people running around potentially naked.
Totally.
Maybe in or around the woods. Like, I mean, you know, there's a number of people, some of them even brothers that we grew up with.
Yeah, and
Who are very good at playing music.
then deciding the economic successes or failures of, you know, small world.
Which I
small
wouldn't
countries.
hand over to the people that I'm talking about.
Totally makes sense.
But,
Totally,
you know,
makes sense.
I digress. I'm just saying some people do run around naked in the woods, and I mean, you don't have to be drunk on power. It could be, you know,
Here's my thing. Right?
Mickey's and a cheap bag of cocaine.
Hey, if I'm allowed to paint myself like a tree and do acid at Running or Burning Man, isn't that the same?
If you're allowed on your day off to eat mushrooms and fly in the pilot's compartment of an Alaska Airlines,
Yeah, what was that?
that's a whole other episode.
What?
No.
You ever heard that fucking story? Dude was in the cockpit and he tried to shut down the engines.
This is the dude that's
Well, he
going to
was high
jail.
on mushrooms. Yeah, well, yes, he should.
And didn't he had worked like some long ass shift and then got off his shift and took the mushrooms or some shit?
No, he
was an employee,
awake.
right?
He was awake for 40 hours.
Fuck!
And he took mushrooms, and he was not piloting the plane.
He was
but
flying back, yeah,
He's
off
a
duty.
pilot for the airline.
So they gave him a jump seat in the cockpit.
He was riding in the jump seat, and he said, "I am not okay," and tried to turn the engines off because he thought he was dreaming, and he thought that would wake him up.
And then they ended up
And he also tried to,
restraining him.
open
He tried
the
to
side
open
door,
the
right?
fucking
I think
exit
so,
door,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
In
my
the
god.
back.
Which you can't do when you're at that altitude, right?
No, some bitch got sucked out of the side of the fucking plane when
That
the
one-
hole opened up, right?
Well, no, somebody
it
actually
causes a
did-
fucking serious vacuum.
Somebody
at
actually
that speed.
successfully opened the door a couple of months ago, remember? But they were
It's not a good move. though.
they were not that high up.
No,
so.
I think they tried or something.
No, they actually opened it.
Oh, they
and
did?
You can look up the video where everybody's there and you're like, shit's fucking going around, the hair's fucking whipping around.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's a
dude.
fucking 600 mile an hour
They
vacuum.
had to
whatever.
slow the airplane down to 300 miles an hour so they could just keep it going.
Down
but
to
not
300 miles an
yeah.
hour. Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's going to be the end of part 1 of episode 5. And here's your awkward TikTok of the day until episode 2. Enjoy.
What you doing?
I'm getting a little acid in mine.
Nice. It's gas. You okay? In the tire? You're putting it in the tire. Send it to me.